Today has been a big day for potential leaks in Pokemon Scarlet Violet, coming from the famed, well-known Riddler coup. Now, a lot of information that we've gotten today does and is credible and does allude to a lot of very interesting and important things. For whatever reason, Coup woke up today and decided to just distribute a lot of information all of a sudden. I don't know why. Probably because we're going to get new information coming soon. That's my guess. And he wants to get some of the info out, so he's known as the source for a lot of these leaks before the info is made public. Now, as you guys know, Nintendo Direct is coming soon. In 3 days was the leaked email that pointed to the 15th being the Nintendo Direct day. So I'm looking forward to that, and we will cover that carefully. But as for whether or not Pokemon is going to be covered in that, maybe, considering Riddler Coup has gone just crazy on Twitter today, dropping loads of information, including potential overhaul for Megas systems in Pokemon Scarlet Violet, as well as some evolution descriptions for some of the new Pokemon. Good and bad news depending on your perspective, and we'll look at that in a sec too. So guys, if you want to avoid spoilers, turn away now. As always, get out while you still can. There's plenty of other videos out there, but this is of course a leak video for Pokemon Scarlet Violet. If you want to avoid that. Okay, so for anyone who has not seen my video here about the Gimmick Cracked, we went into a lot of details about colors, spectrums, and all that stuff. We definitely can very clearly see from the trailers that this is a theme relating to potentially the gimmick that we're going to have in Pokemon Scarlet Violet. So my theory in this video, which was 2 weeks ago, was it's going to be a held item that possibly you can make in a similar fashion to using what we did in the Isle of Armor, using the Cramomatic. Depending on items you put in, you're going to get a certain item out, and my theory was that you'll be able to do something like that regarding prisms to make an item that you can give to your Pokemon to hold, and that's going to influence what your Pokemon can do in terms of the Gimmick Cracked. Now, we're actually taking a couple of steps forward on that theory here with some new information, so that's good. We're actually including the information that we talked about in that video, and that's very, very good. In this new Chinese riddle video, we also discussed some potentially bad news for Sprightito. A lot of people are not going to be happy with what you can probably tell already what's going on there. But we actually covered this with a new Chinese riddle, which is now being made even more credible considering the overlap of information that we're getting from a source we know is reliable. So this is also interesting. This was a whole different Riddler picture. You can see it there. I covered that. I'll leave these two videos, both videos, the Gimmick Cracked and this video for the new Chinese riddle, at the end of the video, so you can just click into it and have a look if you are not familiar with what we covered in those videos. So this is the beginning thing, guys. This is about Megas. Now, Riddler Coup was replying to somebody here who is theorizing, playing off of the riddles, theorizing about his own thing, and he said, it's interesting how you didn't flat out deny the return of Megas. And Riddler Coup says, on purpose, completely alluding to the point that, yeah, we're going to be getting something to do with Megas. Not Megas per se, not Megas just like we know it, but something to do with Megas coming in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But let's have a look further on. Well, thanks for the answer, but it's weird because if they weren't, I'd say you'd come and say that they weren't. This gives me some hope. He's hopeful that Megas are coming, and then Riddler Coup finishes off here because Titan, which is Pokemon Scarlet Violet, that's the code name for Pokemon Scarlet Violet, because Titan got a new concept of that. He just straight up tells us they have a new concept of Megas for Pokemon Scarlet Violet. He just says that. Now, what about Riddler Coup? How does Riddler Coup know? Well, I've explained this in a bunch of my leak videos, but as always, for people who are new coming in, Riddler Coup gets his sources from the Chinese community he knows are credible, real leaks. I've covered a bunch of that in my videos as well. We have the Uncle Saga write-up, okay, which has so far been proven correct in a bunch of things, and has now been well overlapped with Riddler Coup's things as well. This is nothing to do with Riddler Coup, by the way. This is the original Chinese source. These leaks go into a whole bunch of things, which Riddler Coup also tells us in the form of riddles which overlap with this. Also, the last official trailer actually confirmed a few things here as well. So he says he's not going to tease that stuff yet. He's going to wait until August or September, probably when we'll get information about that shortly after he teases it as well. However, we do have some theories going out there already. So on one hand, that kind of relates to my theory from my video that I was showing you from 2 weeks ago. This colored circle that's present in multiple cities, as we can see from the first trailer, has something to do with prisms. You can see a prism style Pokemon ball in the middle. The first trailer ends with an unexplained Pokeball running through a whole series of crystals, which in my opinion is completely to do with the prism thing, not a crystal remake or anything like that. It's got something to do with the prism relating gimmick, okay? And my theory is that you're going to be able to use a prism system of some sorts to create an item or a Pokeball perhaps that will grant your Pokemon inside an ability to either Mega Evolve, maybe a different Mega entirely, a transformed version of the Mega Evolution that it might have had already. And as we've seen from another video I covered, which was all the Pokemon that we can now confirm in the decks so far, we see a bunch of Megas as well as a bunch of G-Max. So here's all the G-Max Pokemon lined up here. Some, not all of them, but like all the ones that are present in the game so far. And we also have a bunch of Megas that you'll notice. There's some of them here. There's Tyranitar over here, Gengar, and there's a bunch in here too. So my theory was that these are all going to be present in the game. We're going to get all gimmicks in the game because there was another leak that actually was a old leak back from 2017 that we covered. This was that leak that we covered in a recent video just a couple of days ago, and this was a real leak from 2017, a lot of which was misconstrued and thought to be for Pokemon Sword and Shield, but actually has now turned out to be correct for Pokemon Scarlet Violet, and it includes Z-moves and Mega Evolutions to be included in the game. Now, of course, this was before G-Max was known to be existing at all or being developed, but as we've seen from the Pokedex, we may very well get G-Max included in that. So the Prism system, creating a Pokeball or a held item of some sort that will grant your Pokemon the ability to either use Z-moves, either G-Max or Mega Evolve, one of the three. Now this ties in with something we've seen from someone who is following the anime, and that's going to be young Venusaur over here, who has clearly been following some of the videos, including the videos that I've been doing, and he added to the theory suggesting that as they show in the anime, you're allowed to choose one of the three gimmicks. You just straight up choose one of the three gimmicks. Oh my god. So it's actually in the anime like that. We have seen mixing G-Max and Megas with the whole Lucario and the Charizard thing. That's pretty incredible. That sounds like it's going to add into what we're actually going to be getting in Pokemon Scarlet Violet with the Prism mechanic. So guys, the information for this is building layer upon layer upon layer, and we're going to get it revealed eventually, but we might very well be walking into territory where we straight up know everything about it before we actually get it. Now, the only other thing that overlaps with that from the Chinese Uncle Saga, which for me is going completely credible too, is the new gimmick here, described as similar to job changing from Final Fantasy, but with types. Now, there's a little overlap there. I'm not sure why they mean types there, since we're looking at G-Max, Megas, and Z-moves. However, my theory before, kind of similar to what before, is if it was just Megas being overhauled, we might be able to get different type Megas to the ones that we already know, using a bunch of the different Pokemon that are in the game. Now, that could be a very interesting gimmick indeed. Could very well be. However, that would be excluding the Z-moves and the G-Max. So it's still a little bit up in the air because of that. However, one thing that does overlap very well is being able to change your job similar to Final Fantasy, or change your with types or whatever, which involved being able to change your equipment or your clothes to grant you a different job. So the types are maybe the G-Max or the gimmick, the G-Max Megas and Z-moves might be something that is interchangeable depending on the kind of prism related item or Pokeball that you have, and you'll be able to just swap them in and out wherever, you know, in a Poke Center or just out in the wilderness or something like that. So next leak, guys, is this. This is about Sprightito, and I did cover this in a video already, but I was probably one of the first people to do this. We actually cracked a little bit of a new Chinese riddle leak thing that did not come from Riddler Coup. It came from another Chinese source from Chinese social media, and it's pointed to Sprightito becoming a final evolution on 2 legs, okay? And that is something people really don't want. They really don't want that. And it's at this point here that Riddler Coup himself confirms it stands up. I love you, Mr. Ku. Hope you have a great day. Do you know if Sprightito will be bipedal or quadrupedal? It stands up. Bipedal, guys, 2 feet. That's what it's gonna be. People think that, you know, if we get leaks like that, people think it might be fake. Well, it's always good to take a blast to the past here when we did see supposedly fake leaks, according to the expert. But as we know, guys, people were absolutely disappointed with this cute, adorable starter turning out to be a very humanoid, 2-legged creature like this. But there's always going to be people who just come out of the woodwork and say, everything's fake, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake. The Pokemon Company didn't tell us, it's fake. But of course, we're here to tell you, no, we're here to give you that information a little earlier, and that's part of the fun of it. All right, next information for the leaks today is there's going to be lots of Husbandomon and Waifumons too. At least 4 Waifumons, okay? And they're all brand new, guys. None of them are going to be changed evolutions or variants from Pokemon we know. They're all going to be brand new Pokemon. And one such Pokemon is Smoliv. Smoliv is going to evolve into a Waifumon. And Lechonk is also going to evolve into a Waifumon. Now, we have covered Lechonk once before. Riddler Ku basically says it's going to turn white and it's going to have makeup. He's also just most recently suggested that Smoliv is going to become a waifu too. And this is where one of the most recent teasers came in. And of course, Riddler Ku has something against Centro for whatever reason. He highlights that there's going to be, like, there's a bunch of olives here. There's some black olives down here. And he then confirms for us that it is in the Waifumon League, but not the one I was about to tease in last month. So a different tease, but he just straight up says little Smoliv is a waifu. It's a waifu Pokemon. But he also goes in to tell us a little bit more details about these waifus, all right? From what I know, Fur Fetish is one, so that's obviously not Olive or Smoliv. That's probably going to be Sprightito, which actually turns out to be a 2-legged creature, of course. So it's probably going to be quite humanoid waifu. That's my guess. Plant Fetish, that's probably Olive, Smoliv. Then we have Lolly Fetish and a Hardcore Queen Fetish. Dude, that's very up in the air. We don't know what's going on there. But of course, Husbandomons come in too. All right, guys, that is it for today. This is a lot of information that we just got today. Now, Riddler Ku, of course, is a very, very credible source. He has access, direct access to the real leaks from the Chinese community over on Chinese social media. He's a superpower being. He's able to speak Chinese and read it and convert it into English riddles for us, which is great. He's seen a lot of the Pokedex, and he has gotten a lot of things right since all the way back before Pokemon Legends Arceus. So he's an absolute credible source at the moment. However, fear this one, guys. Riddler Ku has told me specifically that he's going to finish doing this whole thing after Pokemon Scarlet Violet comes out. So this is a one-trip journey for him now, and for us, this is the only mainline game we're going to be getting him in on, and anything after Pokemon Scarlet Violet, as far as he's so far said, he's not going to do. He might change his mind, but we'll see. But this one's been good, guys. We got a lot of information today. Let me know what your thoughts are on all that down below. Most excited for Megas. Most excited for Megas being overhauled as well. That's going to be very, very cool. We'll see about the theory about Z-Moves, G-Max, and Megas all coming into the same game, similar to the anime. There's a lot to think about here, guys. But thanks for watching. Drop a sub to keep on top of all the latest leaks, news, and so on. I'll see you guys around in the next video. Till then, bye.